2024 is about to close, and like we always do, it's time for the annual smartphone roundup video. Today, we're going through a rundown of some of the best sub-flagship and premium mid-range smartphones we've come across this year. Specifically, those priced between 26,000 to 40,000 pesos. What up guys, Mikael here from Yugatech, and without further ado, let's get right into the video. Starting off this list, we have the Honor 200 Pro, offering one of the best camera setups and near flagship performance at its price point. Coming in at 29,999 pesos, it boasts a Snapdragon 8S Gen 3 chipset and has a generous 512GB of internal storage paired with 12GB of RAM. In our benchmark testing, the Honor 200 Pro managed to get over 1 million points in Antutu, which is definitely a good score. From the rear protrudes a very capable triple camera setup, a 50-megapixel main shooter that supports optical image stabilization, another 50-megapixel sensor for telephotos that also supports OIS, and a 12-megapixel ultra-wide lens. They even partnered with a famous French photography studio called Harcourt to bring its iconic portrait styles into the phone, which means users can capture studio-level portraits easily with the Honor 200 Pro. But of course, it still needs proper lighting and setup to achieve the desired Studio Harcourt effect. Moving on to its other features, the phone sports a 6.78-inch Full HD Plus curved OLED display running at a 120Hz refresh rate and has an HDR peak brightness of 4,000 nits. There's also the addition of the so-called Honor C1 Plus chip that basically boosts the phone's signal reception. Battery-wise, the phone packs a 5,200 mAh unit that supports 100 watts of fast charging via USB-C and also 66 watts of wireless charging, which is freaking huge. And for added protection, the phone comes with an IP65 rating for dust and water resistance, meaning it can easily withstand a sudden downpour and spills, but it's not meant for water submersion, so keep that in mind. Next, we have the Realme GT6. Touted as a flagship killer. While there is some truth in that, personally, we would rather call it a near flagship killer. You see, the phone is powered by the same chip as the previous entry, which is a Snapdragon 8S Gen 3. However, it's not as powerful as a true flagship chip like the older Snapdragon 8 Gen 2, let alone the 8 Gen 3. Nonetheless, the Realme GT6 is still a solid performer overall. For starters, its processing power is a notch above the majority on this list. In Antutu, it garnered over 1.5 million points, which is significantly higher than that of the Honor 200 Pro running the same chipset. Second, it comes with an LTPO OLED display, which you typically see in flagship models. Its 6.78-inch screen also runs at a 120Hz refresh rate and has an HDR peak brightness of 6,000 nits. And third, its cameras are also good, especially the 50-megapixel main shooter with optical image stabilization. It is complemented by another 50-megapixel telephoto lens and an 8-megapixel ultra-wide. The phone supports the newest Wi-Fi 7 standard, packs a 5,500 mAh battery paired with 120 watts of fast charging, and it gets an IP65 rating as well. The Realme GT6 sets you back 34,999 pesos. That's with 12GB of RAM and 256GB of internal storage. Moving on, this next one is perhaps more fitting of the moniker flagship killer, at least when talking about the price-to-performance ratio. Enter the POCO F6 Pro, coming in at only 26,999 pesos, making it the most affordable one out of the bunch. Powering the F6 Pro is a flagship chipset, the Snapdragon 8 Gen 2, and that's a big win for this phone already. In Antutu, it managed to get over 1.5 million points as well, even surpassing the Realme GT6 for just a tad bit. However, the phone may lack a bit in other areas, which could explain why it does share the same score with a non-flagship chip. In particular, its cameras are not on par with the others. It does get a 50-megapixel main camera with OIS as well, but the other two lenses are an 8-megapixel ultra-wide and a 2-megapixel macro lens. In front, it sports a 6.67-inch WQHD Plus AMOLED display, meaning it gets a higher screen resolution than usual, which is exactly 3200 by 1440 pixels. It gets a peak brightness of 4000 nits, and it runs at 120Hz refresh rate as well, but no LTPO here. As for battery, it packs a 5000 mAh unit paired with 120 watts of fast charging. There is no ingress protection here whatsoever, and it is a bit of a letdown, but it's not a major deal breaker, at least for us. Regardless of some of its shortcomings, the POCO F6 Pro is still a force to be reckoned with, especially for that price of just under 27,000 pesos. There's nothing else that comes close at the price point powered by a true flagship chipset. Speak of the devil, carrying the same price tag of 26,999 pesos is the Vivo V40 5G. What's so special about this premium mid-ranger is the big upgrade in its camera department. All cameras are now Zeissed up. Because unlike before, the Zeiss tuning was only reserved for its Pro counterpart. At the rear, it has a 50-megapixel main shooter with OIS, a 50-megapixel sensor for its ultra-wide with autofocus, and of course, the so-called Aura Light feature, which is somehow smaller than its predecessors, but Vivo did say it lights up brighter than before. The selfie shooter is also a 50-megapixel sensor and has autofocus support as well. Good stuff. Under the hood, the V40 is equipped with the Snapdragon 7 Gen 3 and it scored over 800,000 points in Antutu, which is decent considering it is a mid-range chipset. Flip to the front, it sports a 6.78-inch Full HD Plus AMOLED display with a 120Hz refresh rate and up to 4500 nits of HDR peak brightness. Battery-wise, it gets a 5500 mAh unit with 80 watts of fast charging. Another feature that made the Vivo V40 so special is the added protection that is on the same level as your usual flagships. It features an IP68 rating, allowing it to withstand submersion in water, which is neat. Although, like we always remind you, ingress protection wears off over time, or you still have to be careful regardless of how resistant your device is based off its IP rating. So next up, we have a really interesting phone, not because of how it performs, but how it flips. Enter the Infinix Zero Flip, which is probably one of the most affordable flip phones you can get in 2024 for just 29,999 pesos. That's for 8 gigabytes of RAM and 512 gigabytes of internal storage. And it's not cheap in any way, in case you are wondering. The main feature, of course, is the 6.9-inch foldable Full HD AMOLED display, and surprisingly, there is zero gap with the hinge, hence the name. Well played, Infinix. On top of that, the screen is an LTPO panel, and it gets a 120Hz refresh rate and up to 1400 nits of peak brightness. The cover display isn't held back as well, with a 3.64-inch AMOLED panel running at a 120Hz refresh rate as well, and it's even protected by Corning Gorilla Glass Victus 2. Performance-wise, the phone runs on a MediaTek Dimensity 8020 chip that is able to get over 800,000 points in Antutu, and its cameras are also pack-in, led by a 50-megapixel main shooter with OIS, a 50-megapixel ultra-wide, and a 50-megapixel selfie snapper with autofocus. The battery is rated at 4,720 mAh and comes with 70 watts of fast charging. However, there is no ingress protection here as well. Moving on to a higher price bracket, we have the Xiaomi 14T Pro. It is a proper sub-flagship priced at 37,999 pesos. It sports a Dimensity 9300 Plus, which is a flagship chipset from MediaTek. In our benchmark tests, the Xiaomi 14T Pro achieved a whopping 1.9 million points in Antutu, and that is the highest score on this list. This phone sports a 6.67-inch 1.5K AMOLED display running at up to 144Hz refresh rate. However, no LTPO here, despite the fact that other phones at lower prices actually get an LTPO panel, but I don't think that takes away from the phone altogether. Either way, it bounces back with its capable cameras, especially with Leica optics, featuring a 50 megapixel main shooter with optical image stabilization, a 50 megapixel telephoto, and a 12 megapixel ultra-wide. Battery-wise, it packs a 5,000 milliamp hour unit with support for 120 watts of fast charging and 50 watts of wireless charging. And for the complete flagship experience, it gets an IP68 rating as well for dust and water resistance. Then, there's also the vanilla Xiaomi 14T. It's rocking a mid-range chipset, the MediaTek Dimensity 8300 Ultra, but also features Leica optics with a similar camera setup as the Pro version. It also has the same display, the same IP68 rating, and the same battery capacity, but with a slightly lower charging speed at 67 watts. No wireless charging. But for all of that, it comes at a significantly lower price, starting at 29,999 pesos. What might be a deal breaker for some is the absence of a charging brick in the box. Oof, Xiaomi joins the no chargers in the box club. What's happening? Last but definitely not the least is the Samsung Galaxy S24 FE. It is yet another sub-flagship phone carrying the highest price on this list at 39,990 pesos. For that price, you can get a taste of Samsung premium ice cream with some cutbacks here and there. Under the hood, the Galaxy S24 FE is equipped with the company's in-house Exynos 2400E chipset. And before you guys start typing, "This chipset sucks, it's an Exynos, it overheats," it's actually pretty good, at least on paper. In our Antutu test, the phone managed to get over 1.4 million points, almost faring against the Snapdragon 8 Gen 2 or even 8S Gen 3. There's also Samsung DeX support, which is typically reserved for the flagship S line and above. The S24 FE still is an S24 device, so yay! Flip to the front and it gets a 6.7-inch dynamic AMOLED 2X display with 120Hz refresh rate and 1900 nits of peak brightness. Again, no LTPO panel here either. The cameras are a bit underwhelming though. A 50 megapixel main shooter with optical image stabilization, complemented with an 8 megapixel telephoto and a 12 megapixel ultra-wide. Battery capacity is also lower than usual with a 4700 milliamp hour unit, and it gets a slower charging speed of 25 watts. It does get 15 watts of wireless charging and a solid IP68 rating for dust and water resistance. So that finally wraps up this list. Did we miss anything? Is there any phone you guys can think of at this budget range that you guys think should be on this list? Do you think there's a better contender in the price range? Share your thoughts in the comment section below. And if you enjoyed this video or found it informative, educational, or helpful when making a purchasing decision, be sure to smack that like button, subscribe to our YouTube channel, and hit the bell icon so you get notified of our future uploads. Be sure to visit yugatech.com and follow us on all our social media platforms, that is Facebook, Instagram, X, and TikTok, for the latest tech news and reviews. Once again, this has been Miguel, and I'll see ya in the next one. Cheers.